Hi, my name's Brad Massey, and I'm the Saunders Foundation Curator of Public History here at the Tampa Bay History Center. Today we're going to show you items from our collection that tell the story of orange cultivation and manufacturing here in Florida. Items that we are going to feature in this video include the orange stand we have in our permanent gallery, orange-themed postcards and other promotional materials, and also this grove heater that was used to heat orange trees during Florida freezes. The way the heater worked was you would put fuel in the bottom of it and you would keep it lit. And there was especially a concern of keeping trees warm at night because, of course, temperatures plunge in Florida at night during freezes. So a lot of times you would see these used during the evening hours. Did these heaters work? It's really hard to say. Whether or not the heaters worked depended a lot on the severity of the freeze. In a freeze like the severe freeze in 1894 and 1895, I have to imagine that heaters like this were not too effective. Grove warmers like this were used really throughout Florida's modern orange industry. We see growers attempt to keep their orange trees warm in the late 1800s and then especially in the 20th century when orange cultivation really booms in Florida. Spanish explorers and settlers were the first people to grow oranges in Florida, but oranges weren't grown for the market until the 20-year British period in the late 1700s. The British grew oranges, but it wasn't until after the U.S. Civil War that the orange market in Florida truly boomed. Once the railroads were built, orange growers in Florida had a tie to northern markets, and they planted more and more orange trees in northern Florida counties. But growing oranges in northern Florida was a risky proposition. Hard freezes like the one that happened during the winter of 1894 and 1895 damaged crops. This motivated farmers to move orange cultivation down into central Florida, in particular the area around Tampa and its port. Fortunately for growers, as orange cultivation moved south, American consumer demand boomed. Between 1911 and 1929, American consumption of oranges per capita doubled. And by 1945, Florida overtook California as the state that produced the most oranges. Suddenly, oranges, which had once been a luxury item that were stuffed in children's stockings, became ubiquitous. And then came frozen concentrated orange juice. Frozen concentrated orange juice changed Florida's orange market. For decades, engineers had tried to create a delicious concentrated product, but they had always failed. The problem was the taste. One critic said that these canned products tasted like water that had a teaspoon of sugar and an aspirin dissolved in it. Frozen concentrated orange juice was invented in large part thanks to World War II. Motivated by the need to get nutritious products to American GIs and American civilians during World War II, the federal government threw money at the problem. And by 1946, engineers had created a new orange juice product, frozen concentrated orange juice, and Americans loved it. How much did Americans love frozen concentrated orange juice? By 1952, the Minute Maid Corporation sold $30 million worth of the stuff. The popularity of frozen concentrated orange juice was also helped along by an advertising blitz. Stars like Bing Crosby and University of Florida quarterback Steve Spurrier promoted the product. The publicity worked, and by 1980, 90% of Florida oranges found their way to frozen concentrated orange juice cans. As orange cultivation expanded, it was also corporatized. The Minute Maid Corporation controlled 30,000 acres of land. After frozen concentrated orange juice, the era of the small Florida orange farmer largely came to an end. The 1983 film Trading Places highlighted just how important frozen concentrated orange juice had become in America. In the film, Billy Ray Valentine and Louis Winthorpe attempt to corner the frozen concentrated orange juice market. And big surprise, just like Florida orange growers, they strike it rich. But Florida's frozen concentrated bull market did not last forever. By the 1980s, Brazil was growing more oranges than Florida. Orange juice was also squeezed out by the rising popularity of other breakfast beverages. At the same time, more and more Florida groveland was bulldozed to build 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch homes. And then in the 2000s, citrus greening, a disease that affected orange fruit, devastated existing groves. To make things worse, Americans started to drink less and less frozen concentrated orange juice. All of a sudden, grocery store shelves were packed with fresh orange juice that was put in boxes. The era of Florida frozen concentrate had come to an end. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned something about Florida's orange industry. And we will see you next time on the next episode of From the Collection.